Welcome again, guys. This video I want to talk about not depending on specifically having closure in order to jumpstart yourself into moving on and forward. Why do I say this? I mean, in many cases, you'll find people who get stuck at the point of needing, depending on having some sort of closure, some sort of meaning as to why things ended or why things went the way they went, in order for them to fully accept what happened and move forward from that. Now, if you find yourself, um, thinking excessively about, why a person did something or why it went a certain way, you're gonna start finding yourself becoming obsessed, right? You'll become obsessed with that individual and what that individual did to you. Therefore, not allowing you to pull yourself forward to propel yourself into the direction of healing, of forgiving, letting go, and doing for yourself. This happens quite often where a person focuses on the specifics of the nature of what they were dealing with and what they were going through, and trying to come up with an answer from someone who was mentally ill, at least, or mentally disordered, at least, because narcissists are disordered individuals. This always, is accompanied with psychosis. We can't predict or try to get, definite answers out of these individuals with someone who is under psychosis. I mean, there can be a million and one reasons why they did what they did and how they did it, or why, it's too much anyway for a person who is trying to, move forward to, lock themselves into at a point to where they're obsessively trying to figure out the reason as to why and how and what made them do it. At a certain point, you just got to accept what is and how it went down. You have to just accept it, right? The acceptance is of the utmost importance, because until you accept it, you'll be, resisting letting it go. And not letting it go is what keeps you trapped in that same state, what keeps you locked in that same, position and emotional turmoil with yourself. You're not able to start the beginning process of healing the wound so that you can move forward and move on. So acceptance is a major part of gaining closure. Now, sometimes, and you just have to be able to come to a point where you're not gonna get the answer you wanted. You're just not. But by no means should you stay waiting in limbo, just, sitting without moving forward and being okay with not getting an answer as to why and how and the motive and whatnot of what ended, of what transpired. You have to be okay with, okay, this went down. I didn't like what I was going through anyway. I didn't like the circumstances. I didn't like the condition. I had to get out of it. Obviously, you weren't feeling right about it in the first place to want to make a move or a decision to get out of it. And if you weren't the one that left, obviously the other person wasn't feeling that way or had the best intentions to stick around. So at that point, we have to be real with ourselves and understand what is not continuing, what is not going forward or moving forward, is not going forward or moving forward for a reason, right? And whether or not we know what that reason is or not, we have to be willing to be okay with the final results of what that produced. And if it's separation, it's separation. If it's the discontinuance of that situation that you both were in or engaged in, then that's what it was. But you have to be able to be okay with it at a certain point. It's okay to mourn. It's okay to, you know, go through the emotional feelings of being hurt or betrayed or whatnot. It's okay to do that. It's okay to process those emotions. But it's not okay to continually allow yourself to, fester and sit in these emotions and operate from a discontented, dissatisfied state of mind and state of being. It is not healthy. That can easily produce and lead into depression and a whole lot of other, you know, different types of emotional disorders themselves. So, if possible, it is best to try to accept what has happened, even though it may not be, the easiest thing to do. Is you got to start somewhere in order to jumpstart the healing process so that you can begin to move on. Otherwise, again, you'll be stuck in limbo. You won't be able to gain that feeling of enjoying life and enjoying other things and other people. You'll be stuck in a bitter, resentful condition or state, and that's not going to ultimately give you the happiness that you truly desire anyway. So again, there's going to be times where you're not going to get closure. There's going to be times it's just not going to happen, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with understanding that what happened, but now it's time to start working on you. It's time to start addressing the things that you need to address to make yourself better, and not being afraid to let go. A lot of people are afraid of letting go. They feel like something is, that they're not going to be the same or something like that if they just let go. I mean, that very thought of them, strikes fear into people, but you have to be willing to accept that and be okay with letting go. Trust me, it does get better. Trust me, if you can muster up the strength and the courage to, move forward and accept and move on, it only gets better. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to have clearer thoughts and more clarity, and the confusion, dwindles away, and your state of mind begins to settle back down and become more at rest and at peace. You'll feel better. You will. But you have to be willing to, you know, accept first so that you can, start the rest of the process to fully healing. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this video, guys. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Those of you who are wishing to attend the Out of Sight from Narcissist tour happening down south, happening in Houston, coming up, I'll leave all of the information you need in the description box. Just click the little arrow down and it'll, there'll be a link where you can go and purchase your ticket. If you haven't got the first documentary I put out called Departure of Empathy, which is really good, that link will be there too, where you can get a copy of that as well. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in and listening. Have a